Hello everybody, how goes it? Otaku Gamer Geek World here, and the video is finally here. As promised, here is my Final Fantasy VII Remake review, which I have been talking about for this past week. And, you know, this is a game that was very, very hyped up about, and the hype was very well worth it. It was a game worth waiting for, and it was a game that truly exceeded expectations and really sets the tone for what Final Fantasy should be in the future. It really sets the stage for what the standards of the series should aspire to be from this point onward. Because honestly, I find it hard to see how Square Enix is going to step down their game after they finish Final Fantasy VII Remake. But anyways, this is the review that you were waiting for, so let us get down to it. So basically, Final Fantasy VII Remake is made, developed, and produced by Square Enix, and it is a reimagining of the 1997 PS1 classic Final Fantasy VII. And it deals with the city of Midgar, as it is ruled over by the electric power company known as Shinra. And they basically use the planet's resources. They extract Mago from the planet, which is basically like the life source of all living things, to power everything, But obviously, they're an electric power company, so you can connect the dots there. And then there's this organization called Avalanche who is trying to actively stop them from killing the planet. Cloud, who is a mercenary for hire, he gets hired by Barrett to help Avalanche infiltrate a Mako reactor. And then the story basically uses that as its intro. That's how it starts. And then, there's a really nice pacing to it. And it just goes on from there to delve into the whole politics and all of the moral dilemmas about Shinra and what they're doing to the planet. And it's really a commentary on real life, on our world, on how these big corporations, yes, they're giving us lifestyle, they're giving us modern things, they're helping technology and civilization advance forward, but at the cost of the resources of the planet. So it's a very grim parallel to the real world, and I appreciate that the game tells that story that way because it paints a dark picture, it paints a dark reality. And I honestly really love how timeless the story is because back when it came out on the PS1, it was way ahead of its time, and it was a story that really struck. And now in the remake, now that we have like fully voice-acted cutscenes, it really hits even harder. And basically, the story that goes there, I'm not going to spoil or divulge any details because, of course, it's been long enough that everyone's played the game. But I know that there are people out there who have yet to play it, and I don't want to ruin the excitement because there's a lot of epic stuff in store, and it really messes with your head at times. I absolutely love how the story is told in this game. The action set pieces are elaborately set up, where it's very stylish and very cinematic, and if you weren't thinking that you were playing a video game, you would think that you were just watching a really good movie. And the character interactions are very genuine, they are very immersive, and very thoughtful, and really gives the whole emphasis on these characters and how they struggle with the world around them, and what they think about everything that's happening. And I absolutely love that. It adds a sense of realism to these characters and a sense of realism to the world that they inhabit. And I think that it's a great way to tell a story. And, of course, there's comedic beats here and there because it can't all be grim and dark. And there's little nuances, little things between characters that I really appreciate because as the game goes forward, you see these characters grow and develop and bond. And I love that not just in cutscenes, but when you're just exploring the world or in battle, there's like little chit-chat between the party members, and it's fantastic. It really is something great. The story of the game is fantastic. It treads familiar ground because, of course, this is a remake, but there are a lot of clever surprises and twists throughout that, really got me because as someone who had played the original Final Fantasy VII, I recognized so many of the references, I recognized so many of the iconic scenes, and then the scenes that were expanded upon and the characters that were fleshed out more, that weren't given enough screen time in the original, really helped to sell the beat of the story. And obviously, as to not spoil, there are a lot of key events that play out in a way that you would not expect, especially towards the ending. Like, towards the ending is where it gets truly bonkers. And I love that we were able to get some extra character development for characters like Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge, who were only secondary characters in the original. The fact that they were able to give them some more personality and some more wiggle room to like interact with Cloud and the others, it was pretty great. I found that to be really enjoyable. The interactions between the characters were absolutely fantastic, and they were already well developed enough in the original, but the fact that Square was able to up their game with the interactions between them, the way that they feel around each other, the way that they talk, everything was on point. The voice actors did a fantastic job. And that's another amazing thing that goes into the production values of this game. Literally, every line is voice acted. Like, there was not one little bit of dialogue where it was only text. Heck, I remember one time I was walking through all of the Sector 5 slums for like an entire hour just listening to the NPC characters talk. The level of immersion and the level of quality in this game is just unparalleled. And honestly, this just makes me wonder, where are they going to go from here after they finish the Final Fantasy VII Remake project? I'm pretty sure that after all the cinematic flair and all the attention to detail that is prevalent in the remake gets to be such a key feature that everyone will want to see Final Fantasy XVI and onward have the same level of quality. Because I'm pretty sure that 7 Remake is going to set the standard for what the future of Final Fantasy should be. And story-wise, hell, this is as good as it gets. It really is amazing. And unpopular opinion, Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't my favorite Final Fantasy entry. That one belongs to Final Fantasy IV, but I do appreciate what Final Fantasy VII did for the franchise and for RPGs in general, and I can understand why it's everyone's favorite, and I think the remake will enhance the appreciation and the love that this game already has. And honestly, this is one for the ages. It is definitely a game that you will want to experience. And if you're not able to play it, then definitely watch a Let's Play of it. But if you're able to experience it for yourself, I urge you to do so. So, now that we've talked about the story, let's dive into the gameplay aspects. So for the combat, if you've played Kingdom Hearts before, or if you've played Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, that's basically the general consensus of how combat works in this game. And it is fantastic. And being a big fan of Tetsuya Nomura's work in the Kingdom Hearts series, I found myself easing my way into Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat quite easily, as it's very similar, all right down to the shortcuts that you use for magic spells or special abilities. And combat works with ATB gauges, which is the active time battle system. For those who've played the original 7 or have played Final Fantasy XIII, you know that it's the gameplay where there's little bars that dictate when you can be able to take certain actions. The materia system also makes a return, and it is just like you remember it from the original Final Fantasy VII, but obviously with a new coat of paint. But the concept is still the same. You equip materia of different and varying degrees to weapons and armor so that you can be able to enhance yourself in the battlefield. And, you know, it's a good boost to all of your stats. The summons are also back, and they are visually appealing and amazing in combat, with Ifrit being one of my absolute favorites because his Hellfire special is absolutely bonkers. And Shiva's Diamond Dust is obviously a sight to see, and honestly, the special effects that went into the attacks for these summons are just over the top. Playing through the game, I found it visually arresting. Like, the production values for this game are top tier. The voice acting is fantastic, the gameplay is immersive and fun, and exploration is just a treat. Like, everything about this game was very well thought out and put together, and as you can see, the gameplay, it's very fast-paced, And, for today's modern standards of action RPGs, you really couldn't ask for a better deal. And I found the combat to be very enjoyable, and leveling up was such a breeze in terms of, I didn't feel a big hassle level grinding. I finished the game, at around level 35, and it was great. This game is so fun that even the side quests are great. Normally, I don't do side quests in video games because I just want to experience the story first. But this game really made me appreciate side quests in general. I love how they help develop world building for this game, and it gives you a sense of Midgar as a living, breathing city with living, breathing people that have varying degrees of problems. And it's pretty fantastic how these side quests are able to, extend the scope of the citizens of Midgar, and it just immerses you into the world even more. And plus, you get some really nice perks and really great materia, and also a lot of gil. And there's also mini-games. The dart minigame was surprisingly fun, and I really enjoyed getting the high score on it. And then there's the squats minigame, which was both comedic and frustrating. It was great. He's trying so hard. Also, Sephiroth PTSD. Why do I hear boss music? But yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake was a truly fantastic game worthy of the Final Fantasy brand, and the best thing of all, this is just the first part. So part 2, I don't know how long it'll be till part 2 comes out. I would say 2 to 3 years, because since they have the assets and everything, all they would really have to do is transition just a little bit of graphical difference between the PS5 and the PS4. But this was a great taste of what's to come. And yes, even though the game is divided into 3 parts, Final Fantasy VII Remake still felt like its own game. Because from the onset, Nomura was saying that each game would act as a standalone Final Fantasy game. And it really does feel that way. It really does. But yes, this was a very enjoyable game, and I'm very excited to see what's in store. But anyways, that's my review of Final Fantasy VII Remake. What did you all think of the game? What was your favorite boss fight? What were your favorite moments? And what are you excited to see for Part 2? Whatever you have on your mind, just let me know in the comments below. And until next time, this has been Otaku Gamer Geek World, signing out.